You're comfortable. Right now, reading this, watching this, some part of you is comfortable. And I need you to understand something that took most people decades to figure out. That comfort is the most expensive thing you own. Not your rent, not your student debt, not the subscription services you forgot to cancel. Your comfort zone. Because everything it has ever cost you, every version of yourself you never became, every opportunity that expired while you were not quite ready, every dream you talked yourself out of before breakfast, none of that shows up on a bank statement. It shows up at 2 a.m., when the world is quiet and your brain finally stops performing and you hear it, that quiet, persistent question, is this it? If you've heard that question, this video is for you. Here's what nobody tells you about your brain. It is not designed to make you happy. It is not designed to make you successful. It is not designed to help you grow, find purpose, build something meaningful, or become the person you are capable of being. Your brain has exactly one job: keep you alive. That's it. That is the entire mission statement of the 3-pound organ running your life. And for 99% of human history, that was enough. When your ancestors heard a sound in the dark, the ones who stayed still survived. The ones who ran toward the unknown often didn't. Comfort wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. It was the edge between breathing and not. But here's where it gets dark. Evolution hasn't caught up with modern life. Your brain still runs on that ancient software. It still treats uncertainty the same way it treated a predator in the dark. Quitting your job to start a business? To your brain, that is a lion. Moving to a new city where you know no one? Lion. Sending the pitch. Starting the channel. Ending the relationship that's slowly draining you. Telling the truth about what you actually want. Every single one. A lion. And your brain, beautifully, brilliantly, and devastatingly, will do everything in its power to keep you away from the lion. Even when the lion is your future. Neuroscientists call this the homeostasis trap. Homeostasis, the brain's desperate, relentless, almost obsessive need to return to what it already knows. Think of it like a thermostat. Set the temperature. The room gets too cold. Heat kicks on. The room gets too hot. Cooling kicks on. Always returning. Always correcting back to the setting it was programmed on. Your brain operates exactly the same way. It has a setting. A baseline it was calibrated to in childhood, reinforced through your teenage years, and solidified by your mid-20s into something that feels like, this is just who I am. But it isn't who you are. It's where your nervous system learned it was safe. And here's what makes the homeostasis trap genuinely insidious. It doesn't just pull you back when things go wrong. It pulls you back when things go right. You start losing weight, and suddenly the cravings are louder than ever. Your business starts gaining traction, and suddenly you find a reason to slow down, to second-guess, to procrastinate on the exact actions that were working. You meet someone extraordinary, and some quiet, unnamed part of you starts looking for the exit. This is not self-sabotage in the dramatic sense most people imagine. This is your brain's thermostat detecting that the room is getting warmer than it was set to handle, and quietly, methodically, lovingly, turning down the heat. Now, I want you to think about what this looks like in this year, because the comfort zone has never been more sophisticated, more convincing, more beautifully designed to keep you exactly where you are. You wake up. The algorithm already knows what you want to see. The app already knows what will keep you scrolling. The streaming service already cued the next episode before you consciously decided to watch it. Your environment has been engineered by some of the smartest, most well-funded minds alive to make staying feel indistinguishable from living. And it's working. We are living through what psychologists are now calling the Great Stagnation of Self. A generation, arguably several generations, more connected, more informed, more educated than any humans who ever lived, and more paralyzed. Not by lack of information, not by lack of opportunity, not even by lack of desire. Paralyzed by the invisible architecture of a world that profits from your stillness. Every time you scroll instead of starting, someone gets paid. Every time you watch someone else build the thing you said you were going to build, someone gets a view.
Every time you consume instead of create, choose familiar instead of forward, stay instead of go. The system works exactly as designed. And your brain, your ancient, lion-fearing, safety-obsessed brain, calls it rest, calls it self-care, calls it, I'll start Monday. Here's the question nobody is asking. What if the most dangerous thing in your life right now isn't the thing you're afraid of, but the couch you're sitting on while you fear it? Here's what's actually happening in your brain when you step outside your comfort zone. When you encounter genuine uncertainty, the kind that comes with real growth, your amygdala fires. The amygdala is your brain's threat detection center. Small, almond-shaped, ancient, and absolutely convinced that anything unfamiliar is trying to kill you. It triggers cortisol, the stress hormone. Heart rate climbs, palms sweat, thoughts accelerate and scatter, stomach tightens, and your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, gets temporarily flooded, overridden, outgunned by a system that has been in operation for 400,000 years. This is why logic doesn't work when you're afraid. You know the pitch is good. You know the relationship is over. You know the job is wrong for you. You know, and you still can't move. Because knowing lives in the prefrontal cortex, and fear lives in the amygdala. And the amygdala is faster, louder, and evolutionarily senior. But here is what the research also shows. And this is the part that changes everything. Discomfort and danger are not the same thing. Psychologists call the healthy version of this stress eustress, not distress, eustress, from the Greek prefix eu, meaning good. Eustress is the precise level of challenge that stretches you without breaking you, the zone where neurons form new connections, where identity shifts, where the person you were quietly makes room for the person you're becoming. The discomfort you feel when you begin is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that the growth has started. I want to talk about the cost, not the cost of leaving your comfort zone, the cost of staying. Because this is the conversation that doesn't happen in motivational content, the one that requires sitting in something uncomfortable for longer than a 60-second clip allows. Studies on deathbed regret, and yes, this research exists, consistently show the same finding. People don't regret what they did. They regret what they didn't. They regret the business they never started, the conversation they never had, the city they never moved to, the version of themselves they never gave permission to exist. Bronnie Ware, a palliative care nurse who spent years sitting with the dying, documented the most common regret she encountered in her patients. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Not, I wish I'd worked less. Not, I wish I'd had more money. Courage to live a life true to themselves. The comfort zone doesn't cost you a day. It doesn't cost you a week or a year. Over a lifetime, it costs you the whole thing. And the cruelest part, it never announces itself as a cost. It announces itself as safety, as practicality, as being realistic, as maybe next year. And by the time most people recognize it for what it is, they're measuring the damage in decades. So, what do you actually do? Not in theory, not someday. Right now. First, understand that you are not trying to eliminate the discomfort. That is a losing battle against 400,000 years of evolution, and it will exhaust you before you ever begin. You are trying to do one thing: reclassify the signal. When the amygdala fires, when the heart rate climbs and the stomach tightens and every cell in your body says abort, that is not danger. Repeat it like a law of physics. Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is direction. It is pointing at the exact place where your growth is waiting. Second, shrink the door. Your brain escalates. It doesn't present the comfort zone as a couch. It presents the alternative as a cliff. Every big leap becomes binary in your mind. Everything or nothing, all or destroyed. Break it smaller, not quit your job and start the business today. Send one email today. Make one phone call. Write one page. Have one honest conversation. The brain cannot catastrophize the genuinely small. And small repeated is how every large thing that has ever existed on Earth was built. Third, and this is the one most people skip, stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is a feeling your brain manufactures to delay the moment the thermostat gets disrupted. No one who changed their life felt ready first. They felt afraid, and went anyway. That gap between afraid and anyway, that is the only real definition of courage that has ever mattered. There's a version of you that exists just outside the edge of everything you're currently willing to feel. They are not waiting for a sign. They are not waiting for the algorithm to change, or for the timing to align, or for someone to give them permission. They are waiting for you to decide that the discomfort of growth is more acceptable than the slow erosion of staying. Your brain will argue otherwise. It will be eloquent. It will be convincing. It will hand you 1,000 reasons dressed in the language of wisdom. Learn to recognize the voice. When it says, "Not yet," ask yourself honestly, is this wisdom? Or is this the thermostat? Because the thermostat has no idea what you're capable of. It only knows where you've been. And you are not where you've been. You are where you decide to go next. If this video made you think, if it made you uncomfortable in a way that felt more like recognition than threat, subscribe. Because every week I'm going to give you the psychology they didn't put in any classroom, the dark truth about how your mind works, and exactly what to do about it. Build alone, move in silence, and never, ever mistake the thermostat for your ceiling.